speaker for the event. She is Mrs. AARTI Singh, Senior Director at INDA India, Boeing, and CEO at Boeing India. AARTI Singh is in charge of developing the strategy and overseeing operations for the Boeing India IT and Data Analytics IT&DA Center of India. Through information services provided from India, AARTI Singh's devices value digital transformation for Boeing business worldwide. He's also in charge of the worldwide data products, data governance, and strategy for the Boeing company. At Accenture Solutions, she was the Vice President, Technology Delivery, AARTI serviced client in aviation, high-end product manufacture, and quality assurance testing industries as well. She also spent close to 15 years at GE India, and in US, she continued to take the roles, increasing responsibility at GE across markets and application development. AARTI holds master degree in information technology and BA honor degree in economics. AARTI will be providing a keynote session about the topic, opportunities for women in aerospace industry. Over to you, AARTI.
Hello. Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and are you able to see me as well?
No, AARTI. If you're able to, yeah, we can see you now.
Okay, so a very good morning to all of you and a warm welcome. And it gives me great pleasure to let all of you know that I am in ISC today and talking to you all from here. So what a great venue to be in here when the topic is engineering today, especially for women. So before I get started, I was just reminded, I don't know how many of you have seen the Hollywood movie called Hidden Figures about three African American women who helped NASA with this space program in the 1960s. So, they were computer programmers, mathematicians, and a very, very inspirational movie and highly recommended. I would urge for those of you who've not seen it to really watch it. And if I were to just compare from there to now, especially in aerospace, what is happening, I would say the roles that we have today in aerospace and defense is immense. And in those days, the roles were hidden, especially for women. You have to really go out and try and find, suitable roles for yourself. But today, the roles are very, very visible and very, very open. From an ecosystem standpoint, if you just look at aerospace and defense in India is growing tremendously. In the next 15 years, we will have about 2,200 planes in the commercial sector. The defense is also growing. If you look at our space program, a lot of significant progress there as well. And if you look at the world of autonomous and unmanned, especially in defense, you will see a lot of progress happening there as well. And so overall, if you just look at the ecosystem, you look at what Prime Minister Modi is talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India, you will see a lot of focus on manufacturing, on designing in India. So if I were to look at, having careers in aerospace and engineering and the various facets of it, I would say if you look at, maybe what are the opportunities that are there in aerospace companies, I would say you start off from designing. So a lot of product design work that is happening in India. So if you look at, and by products, I mean like the various types of aircrafts, the various types of, say, fuel tankers, elements of, say, space programs and things like that. So a lot of work around designing is happening here. We are seeing a lot of work around engineering, and engineering is complex. Just to give you a perspective, everybody just thinks like of the final product. People talk of like the final assembly line being in India, but that is just 5 to 10% of development of any aircraft. Before that, the bulk of that work happens in engineering, in designing, in prototyping. So there is a bulk of effort that goes there. the complex engineering happens there. So it is very important that you have all this ready before you can actually get down to really having a final assembly. So designing of the product is an important aspect. Engineering, there are various facets of engineering where there are like a lot of roles in a lot of companies involved in the A&D sector. Uh, if you just talk of engineering, when I say various facets, so for example, structures. So there's a lot of research that goes into structures. There's a lot of work that goes into structures. Now, as you can imagine, when something flies, safety is extremely important, and the conditions in where you fly, very, very extreme. So obviously, the strength of the products that you use to create something like a plane. So material sciences becomes very important. It's a whole gamut of how and the materials you use, how do you make them stronger, lighter. So there's a lot of research and work that happens in that area. Uh, from there, obviously, there's a lot that happens in the electronics and electric world. I don't know about you, but at least every time I get a window seat and the plane takes off, every time I'm reminded of what an engineering marvel it is. And, the whole electronics piece of any airplane is extremely complex. A lot of parts that have to come together, lot of system integration that comes into play. So therefore, electric, again, a very, very big part of that. So if you look at these various aspects of engineering, a lot of potential in India and a lot of roles also that are available, and very interesting roles. Uh, so the whole topic of avionics is again very, very large and very interesting. Then you come to another aspect of engineering would be around all like embedded systems that is there. So a lot of software obviously that goes in. You will see when planes fly, a lot of software that comes into play then. uh, how do you make the flight more efficient? How do you take care of aspects around weather and things like that? So there is a lot of software also that comes into play. So you will find opportunities in the software space as well. So as a whole, like if you look at engineering as an area and software, so there would be a lot of opportunities for very fruitful careers and long time careers, okay, in aerospace and defense. Now, and here there is continuous research happening because you want to go further, you want to go faster, and the underlying thing is safety. So it has to be extremely safe in whatever you want to do. So that's what makes aerospace and defense a little different, because the appetite to take risk is next to negligible. So you will not take a risk, and you will want things to be foolproof, to be tested immensely before you would want to go into production and really make the first flight. The other things that are also coming up in aerospace and defense is the whole concept of unmanned flying. So, and electric, aircraft. So you will see those are some of the things that are coming up as well. So autonomous is a big play where we are looking at autonomous, obviously both in the commercial world, in the defense world, in warfare. So there's a lot of work happening globally in that and in India as well. So that is another area if it interests anyone. There's, I would say, careers in those areas as well. Another thing that you would have probably heard is the world of sustainable. And now in aerospace and defense, sustainability has a big play. Everybody is trying to look at how are they bringing in more sustainability into their products, uh, right from engine companies to, you know, uh, companies who are building planes and defense products across the board. Sustainability is another very important aspect of engineering, of research. So if you just look at, I would say the opportunities that are available, I think it's tremendous. Uh, the type of engineering that you have done will find a spot in aerospace and defense in one of the facets of engineering. And I highly encourage the women to take up roles in engineering and in software. It's a very, very rewarding career experience. uh, I can assure you that there are lots of companies that are there. The culture is very, very open. Every idea counts. People are valued. So, where you feel that you can spend like an eternity in any company in aerospace and defense, because the product life cycle is so long, you will find lots of opportunities to have like a full career in a company. So I would just urge all of you that, engineering, just embrace engineering. It will definitely give you a lot of satisfaction, a lot of job satisfaction. And, at the end of the day, when you feel what you've achieved, it will be tremendous. I have seen that very, very closely with the work that is happening and the satisfaction that people get. And as I said, every time the plane takes off, I tell myself, what an engineering marvel. And, every time the plane takes off, we tell all the folks in the company that there's a little bit of you in every plane that takes off in one form or the other. So, just want to wish all of you the best. Later, if people have some questions, etc., I mean, do feel free to reach out to us. And our HR team will be very, very happy to help with any queries that are there. But really wishing all of you the very best, and just want you to know that this is a very, very encouraging sphere where you can really build a very fruitful career. So that's pretty much from my side.
Thank you so much, Aarti. We didn't want to miss this interesting speech that was packed with statistics. Thank you, Aarti. So can we have a question and answer session with Rasmi and Aarti ma'am for 5 to 10 minutes? Can we have? Audience, if anyone have question, you can ask questions to Rashmi and Aarti ma'am. Otherwise, you can type your questions in chat box. They can answer for your questions. Yeah.
It looks like no questions, so we can go to the next session. Yeah.
So I have one question to you, Aarti. So
Yeah.
in your career life, have you ever come across any where you are stuck completely to get into the next the one you aspire to get into your career? Anytime when you're stuck, I mean, you felt like you are stuck, and you went to some guidance from mentor kind of experience. Can you share?
So I will always say there would be times in life where, you would want to think that what next in my career. So I would highly recommend that you have a network of people You have mentors who can help you, and also like a peer group within your own company, but outside. Maybe some professors could be from your college and other peers as well, and the mentors. And I would say always have a conversation. You should also have a conversation with your manager and your leadership on, you should let them know what your aspiration is. And if you feel that you've been stuck in a role for long and you want to change, go have that conversation. Make it visible that what is it that you want to do, and also try and go with the solution to say that there are some things that are happening maybe in some other department and you would like to move. So do those things yourself, because the person who owns the career is you yourself, and your manager and the whole ecosystem of any organization is going to be an enabler to help with that. So I would just say don't hesitate, not just from a career perspective where you feel stuck, but also if you have an idea, you want to share an idea, do not hesitate. And I can tell you, you have all the psychological safety in the world today. At least most of the companies that I see are very, very open. The culture is extremely positive, and do not hesitate that, your question may be a wrong question, or if your idea may not be a good idea. You don't know. So don't hesitate. And in whether it's your idea or whether you feel you're stuck in your career and you want to move, have that conversation. And there's no harm in moving from one manager to the other, or from one role to the other. Okay. So please, I would say don't hesitate. And also, I would urge you to move out of your comfort zone sometimes, that you may not want to move because you're very comfortable, your relationship with your manager is very good. But you also learn when you take up different roles and work with different people. So I would just urge you that just remember that psychological safety will be there, in almost all cases. Have that in mind, and then do the best what is it for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So one more question I could read from chat box. How to motivate girl children at a young age to select the engineering career?
Okay, I think that's a very good question. I'll just give you one example. So my son goes to the engineering coaching, like to get into the engineering colleges, and I'm super proud to say that I see quite a few women there as well. And whenever I go to drop him, I see a lot of girls coming there, and very, very encouraging. So I would say, when we have daughters at home, I would say just encourage them, and see, it is also about the environment that is given to somebody, okay, or what you see in the house. So I would just say, whoever has daughters, nieces in the house, or access to, female children, I would say just encourage them, in your time, whatever you can do, teach them maths, teach them the sciences. And what happens is success breeds more success. So once they start doing well in a subject, they start liking that subject, and then they become passionate also about it. So, if we just spend more time with them on some of the STEM subjects, gradually they will be passionate about it, they'll start loving it, and then you just have to build that interest in the beginning, and rest they'll take off.
Okay. Say one more question. I read the question. A lot of colleges are offering BTech aerospace engineering, whether the graduates are having enough opening in aerospace engineering field.
So, see, I'll tell you, companies like us, we in engineering, we are really growing and hiring. And if you look at the statistics, there are a lot of companies that are coming in India, and would be also hiring in the future. So, If you just go to the websites of some of these companies and just look for the openings, you will find openings there. So if in your college you don't find, you know, maybe potential placements, but you know, the best part is that your college ties up with some of the companies, and so that they come to your placements and people get selected, because that is the best way, I would say, to land a job in the campus. So whatever campuses you're part of, I think maybe reach out to your placement cell and your professors to say that what are the tie-ups that they have with the aerospace and defense companies.
Thank you, ma'am. So one more question. Regression defects or errors that occurs as a result of changes made to current state. In other words, they are features that were previously working but are now broken. Likewise, when women came into workforce, a small entity called family is regressed. How we can fix this, or how we can carry this both successfully? That's a question.
Okay. Can you just come again a little bit on like the context?
So once again, I read the question. Regression defects or errors that occurs as a result of changes made to current state. In other words, they are features that were previously working, but now they're broken. Likewise, when women come into workforce, the small entity called family is regressed. How we can fix this, or how we can carry this both successfully?
Okay, so if I just look at the family context, okay, I would say the world has changed. Even say when I started my career to now, it has changed. Now, women coming to the workforce is very, very encouraged. In fact, now, you know, like earlier, people when they would get married, they would have that thought that whether I'll be allowed to work or not. Okay, and especially when I started my career, it was not always everywhere. It was not like that, but I would say in pockets. But now, if I just look at the world around me, if I just look at my friends, I look at my relatives, all the people that I know. Okay, literally all the people that I know, everybody who has a daughter, they will be working. It's understood that they will have a career. So if I look at like India as a country and the culture, it's changed. And I don't see any difference in any family. You look at people who have a son or a daughter, or you know, two daughters, the amount that people, the effort that the parents are spending on like educating their children, there is no difference. Okay, so I think that we really have to think within us that we are all equal. We have to think that, you know, our career is our own responsibility. We ourselves should think that we should be financially independent. In our mind, we've got to think that we don't have to be dependent on anybody. And then there is no stopping you. And how do you balance your family? There are a lot of, I would say, support systems that are there today. When people have children, there are very good daycares, okay, that are there. There are a lot of companies where you have daycares within the companies, okay. You have transportation that is given by the company. You have a lot of flexibility in how you work. So if you just look at like the opportunity that is there for any woman really to have a good career, to be able to balance family life, to be able to take care of her children, uh, it's a very, very supportive ecosystem that is there. I'll give you my own example. I am here today because a lot of men mentors and supporters that I had, and there were not so many women leaders that time when I started my career journey. And from then to now, I think everybody is an ally for every woman to have a career. So I think the buck stops at us, and we should not have any inhibitions. And if you look at when you get married, the in-laws are also like supportive. Like once they know that you have a career and you are very serious about your career, everybody comes around and plays a role. And when you have kids, they really support helping raise your kids. So things fall in place. So I would say just be very positive that, yeah, I want my career and everything else will fall in place.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for answering all the questions.